A Louisiana woman was sentenced Tuesday to 25 years in prison for involvement in the death of a 5-year-old Atlanta boy whose body was found last year in a suitcase in rural southern Indiana. A Washington County judge sentenced Dawn Elaine Coleman, age 41, of Shreveport, Louisiana, to 30 years and 5 years suspended to probation. She has pled guilty to level 1 felony charge of conspiracy to commit murder in connection with Cario Amari Jordan's death. Coleman must serve more than 18 years under Indiana Code, which requires those convicted of level 1 felonies to serve 75% of their sentence. Cario's body was found inside of a suitcase in a wooded area about 35 miles northwest of Louisville, Kentucky, in April of 2022. An autopsy found that he died from vomiting and diarrhea that led to dehydration. Investigators stated that Cario had died about a week or less before a mushroom hunter discovered his body in a hard suitcase emblazoned with a distinctive Las Vegas design. He was buried last June at Salem, Indiana Cemetery after a memorial service where a police chaplain called the then unidentified child an unknown angel. Authorities released Cario's name last year after announcing they had been identified and that Coleman and the boy's mother, Janae Laude Anderson, were suspects in his death. A felony murder arrest warrant was issued for Anderson in November of 2022, but the Atlanta woman remains at large. Investigators determined that Coleman was acquitted with Anderson and the two women had stayed with Cario in a home together in Louisville. Authorities allege that Coleman helped Anderson dispose of Cario's body in April of 2022. Quote, this crime impacted not only Washington County, but became a nationwide story. The victim in this case was an innocent child who was barely 5 years old. It's always tragic when a child's life is taken. It's incomprehensible when those who should be caring for the child are responsible. Well, we can already guess what type of relationship this was. You got two women that decided that they wanted to get rid of a 5-year-old. They decided to throw him in a suitcase and left him directly in the woods for him to just be there. And a hunter ended up finding him later after he was already gone. For the fact that they even had the idea to do this. They didn't want to give the kid to family. They didn't want to give the kid to the father or the father's family. They didn't want to put him up for adoption. They didn't want to leave him with a church or the firefighters. They could have done a multitude of things, but two women decided to do this to a 5-year-old. Now, what could bring somebody to the point of wanting to do this to a 5-year-old? I can't even give you anything at all. Because at the end of the day, this is a child and they are adults. Now, to show you how wrong they are, you clearly have one person, I guess, that got caught, right? But then you got the mother, the main culprit, right? The main predator. She's still at large. How? Who is housing this woman? Knowing the fact of what it is that she did to this child, to her own child. And I'm just going to bring up the fact that you have a lot of women directly online that state that, women need to go out of their way to make sure that they exterminate males, right? So I'm pretty sure you have a lot of women directly out there that are clinging their glasses in celebration of what it is that these two women did. Because that's some of the rhetoric that is directly available online for anybody to consume and listen to and watch videos of. This is what that looks like. Where these two women felt that they had the full-on right to get rid of this little boy for clear-cut, no reason at all. A little boy who didn't do anything to anybody. But two women who wanted to be selfish and who wanted to, be a boss chick, or they wanted to, live free and do whatever it is that they wanted to do. And they didn't want to be held down by a kid. Now, again, like I said before, a lot of women decide that they want to keep a child. They decide that they want to bear a child, right? At any point in time before the age of 5, She could have opted a variety of different decisions so that this would not be something that would have happened. And again, I asked the question, if a lot of women out here know that they don't want to be mothers, why go through the whole effort of carrying somebody for 9 months, all just to take their life when they turn 5? Why do it? I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't see the logic. I don't. And then this also goes into the whole other thing where some people state that, oh, God works in mysterious ways. God sees all, God sees everything. And, I just want to ask a question. And this is just a very simple question from a very simple man. If God is always watching, and if God is always there, and God is all seeing, and God made humans, He knows the end, He knows the beginning, He knows the middle, He knows everything. Why would you then create a child just for this to happen? Where were you to protect this child when he was going through whatever he was going through at his home? Then he ended up getting shoved directly into a suitcase, and then he was left in that suitcase full of diarrhea, full of his own vomit, and he was left there to die. All I'm asking is, where was God in that situation for that child, to save that child? Where? Because all the times I cover a lot of these stories, I always hear people wanting to mention religion, always wanting to mention this, that, and the third. My only question is, for any of the stories that I've covered dealing with kids, where is God? That's it. I'm not worried about God showing up for anybody else, for any grown adult. Not worried about God showing up for them. Where is God for those who are defenseless, that can't defend themselves? Where is God when it deals with all of these kids who are specifically getting trafficked, or their images are online, or they're being chained up directly in houses and used and abused? Where? Where is the great religion that everybody so speaks so highly of and believes in? Where are all of their gods when any of these kids need them? That's my question. That's it.